Hi everyone. From today, we are going to start with the grade 6 English medium lessons from the beginning. So today I plan to start with the wonders of the living world, the first lessons, the first part. In this lesson, first we need to know what is meant by the environment. So what's meant by the environment? You know, the environment is our surrounding, including us. So when you look at the outside, you can see the lands, the water bodies, the houses, plants, animals. So like that, there are a lot of things you can see according to the environment you live in. When you look at your home garden or your school garden, you can see the different substances. Now look at these environments given in your textbook. In the first environment, you can see here a lady, a boy is there, a dustbin is there, some buildings are there, roads, the vehicles are there, like that the cars and buses are here. Right? So there are different type of components you can see. And when you go to the second diagram here, you can see some birds here, a man, a newspaper, a hut, cow, temple, a big rock is here, a cart, a bridge, stream, like that. When you look at this very nice environment here, it's like a forest here, that the monkey, a tree here, and that the deer, elephant, birds, flowers, and there are some aquatic plants as well, no, that which are growing in water, and the water body you can see, and also the land, the soil you can see. And look at the fourth environment you given here. The birds are flying in the sky, and that the tree is there, boat, and that very far away you can see a ship here, and that the land and the man is wearing the sarong, and that the hat also here, a neck, like that. So that when you look at these substances, these things, you can see some things are growing. What's meant by grown? You know, some things are their size, the height, and the amount is increasing. We're calling that one as the growth. So the things what you can see around, we can divide mainly under the two categories. The some components are their size is increasing with the time. We call those ones as the living things. So the living things or the living organisms mean the components which are growing with the time. So the things like, as an example, the books, the trees, the books, the land, those ones, they are comes under the non-living things. The components without growing we call as non-living things. So you can easily categorize the things under the two groups as the living things and non-living things. So look at these things, the man, dog, trees, the bird, those ones, they are gradually increasing. So we can consider those ones as the living things. But when you consider these materials, maybe the book, chairs, other than these ones, we can write some more examples as well. They are not growing their size, so we call these ones as the non-living things. So you noticed your house or the home garden and your the school environment. So you can list out these things under the two categories as the living things and non-living things, right? So when we observe these, all the living things and the non-living things, you can uh, list out many examples. When you take these living things into one side, very easily you can see these living things showing some two differences. So these living things we can categorize further under the plants and animals. So these are some examples for the plants. Other than that one, there are some more examples also there. And animals, you can see, you can give some more examples other than this deer, fish, the snail, butterfly, and the parrot as well, I know. So that means we can divide the things under the two categories, the plants and the animals. So other than these plants and animals, is there any other things as well? Right? When we consider the living organisms under the plants and animals. Other than these plants and animals, is there any other organisms are there? To identify that one, we are using a small activity. For that, we are taking some pond water, or we can use some rotten hay, or that some small sample of the food item we can take, and we need a compound microscope, slides, and the cover slips. So the first, we need take some pond water sample, and we need take a drop of water and put that one into a cover slip. And the slides, and we have covered that one by using a cover slip. And then we can observe this one through the light microscope. Now we can see here. So look at this one. You can see here this girl and her friends. They are going and collecting some water from the pond, and you can see that she's taking a drop of water and put this one in the slide. We are calling this glass part as the slide. And then we need to take a cover slip and covered it with the cover slip. Then we observe that one through the light microscope. This is the light microscope. When we are seeing that one through the light microscope, you can see there are different tiny organisms are there. Right? See here, the small organisms you can see. But when you observe when you see the normal water, you can't see. You can see these organisms only through the light microscope. So the instrument which we are using to observe these small organisms, we call as compound microscope. Right? The compound microscopes we are using to see the things which we cannot observe by using our naked eye. Naked eye means without any equipment. So this is another microorganism type you can see. We call this one as we are calling this one as the amoeba. So the amoeba is not having any definite shape, right? You can see here. So when you observe the drop of the pond water, you can observe the small, tiny organisms. So that means other than the plants and animals, there are some other tiny organisms also there. So we call these organisms as the microorganisms. The microorganisms. The organism that cannot be observed with the naked eye, we call as the microorganisms. Okay? So there are different type of microorganisms you can observe when you take a sample of pond water here, right? And what type of places other than the pond water we can see the microorganisms? You know that inside the soil, air, in rotten food, and in animal bodies, and inside even our body, inside our body also, these microorganisms we can see. So we need to know the effects of the microorganisms as well. When we consider the microorganisms, there are some useful side and the harmful side of the microorganisms are there. So actually, when we consider the microorganisms, there are a lot of microorganisms are there not giving a benefit or harmful thing. So when we come to the benefit effect of the microorganisms for producing the antibiotics, the vaccines, and the yogurt, cheese, curd, that type of dairy products, and making the alcohol, and also the bread making, the microorganisms are using. There are some harmful effects of the microorganisms as well, especially that the microorganisms cause diseases, and also it is a main reason for spoilage of the food. Other than that one, some people using these microorganisms as the biological weapons as well. So in this lesson, we learn that the things around us, we can divide mainly under the two categories. That is the living things and non-living things. The living things, you can divide mainly under the three examples. We can divide that one under the three: the plants, animals, and the microorganisms. So you should have ability to give the examples under this plants, animal, and the microorganism thing. So the examples for the microorganisms, there are a lot of examples are there. Now, in your textbook, this microorganism, the shapeless microorganism there, we call this one as the amoeba. There's a green colored microorganism type is there. We call this one as the chlamydomonas. This is the chlamydomonas. Then, when you take a rotten hay, you can observe this microorganism. We call this one as the paramecium. And this is the shape of the bacteria. Other than this one, there are different shaped bacteria are there. So this way, there are a lot of examples are there for the microorganisms. So in this lesson, hope you got a clear idea about the things around us and the way we can categorize it. So the next day, we are going to learn about the next part of this lesson. We will meet in the next day.